Karo the Harai Parisyan. He's an Armenian-born mixed martial artist who moved to America at the age of 6 and began training judo at the age of 9 and was competing in freestyle fighting against fully grown adults when he was only 14 years of age. He was trained by the legendary Gokor Javician and Judo Jean Lebel at the Hayastan Academy, where he also learned the Hayastan grappling system. He was a ferocious competitor and became a 10-time junior national judo champion, a 4-time international judo champion, and had faced the likes of Sean Shirk, Antonio McKee, and Jason Mayhem Miller in MMA, and was focusing on the 2004 Olympic judo trials before he got the call up from the UFC. In this study, we will list the judo techniques that Karo utilized during his MMA career. We will start with the Ippon Seoi Nage, the one-arm shoulder throw technique, where both hands are used on one arm of the opponents as they are loaded onto the back, lifted, and thrown over the shoulder. Seoi Otoshi, or shoulder drop. It's a hand technique where the opponent's loaded onto the back and pulled straight down over the shoulder and thrown while you drop both knees to the mat. The Harai Goshi, or sweeping hip throw, is a hip technique where the opponent's balance is moved in a forward direction and your hip is turned and leg extended, placing the back of your thigh against the front of the opponent's, and as you continue pulling them forward, this is used to sweep their legs out from underneath them in a sudden motion. Osoto Gari, or major outer reaping, is a leg throw performed by stepping outside the leg of your opponent and cutting down on the back of their leg, taking it out from underneath them. Although in practice, when used by Karo in the UFC, it often ended up looking more like a Harai Goshi when finished due to the movements of the opponent when being thrown. The Ashi Guruma, or leg wheel, consists of placing your leg against the opponent's leg between his knee and shin, and then using the rotation of your arms and body to throw the opponent down with an instantaneous twisting motion. The Uchi Mata, or inner thigh reaping throw, is a leg technique that consists of off-balancing the opponent diagonally towards you, then rotating your body and placing the back of your thigh between the opponent's legs and swinging it upwards in a sudden motion to execute the throw. An excellent sense of timing is required to achieve this throw, and it is one that Karo has often favoured using in competition. And here you can see Karo use this throw while simultaneously working towards an udegarami grip on his opponent. The udegarami, kimura, or double wrist lock was an attack that was also often favoured by Karo. With the use of the kimura grip, these throws turn into variations of makikomis, or wraparound throws, like the Osoto Makikomi, or large outside wraparound throw, which begins as an Osoto Gari with your leg cutting down on the opponent's leg, but then you wrap around your opponent's body and fall down with them. Or the Harai Makikomi, a hip sweep wraparound throw, which begins as a Harai Goshi by bringing the opponent onto the hip and twisting at the waist to flip the opponent over, while also using the kimura grip to wrap them around your own body and fall to the mat with them. These throws are classed as side sacrifice techniques and often finish with the opponent on your back, but as Karo would hold onto the kimura grip, he could remain on the offensive. Another use of the kimura is with the Hikikomi Gaeshi, or pulling in sacrifice throw, which consists of destabilizing the opponent in the forward direction and then inserting the instep of your foot between the opponent's leg in the crook of their knee while dropping onto your back and throwing them over your own head, after which you can continue attacking with the kimura from the top position. The Kouchi Gari, or small inner reap, is a foot technique that consists of off-balancing the opponent by pushing them and reaping their heel in a decisive scooping motion. And the Kosoto Gari, which is a small outer reap, which also consists of scooping the opponent's leg, sending them to the mat. The Uchi Gari, or large inner reap, which is executed by moving straight into the opponent's chest, and then performing a leg reap from the inner side by swinging the reaping foot in a half circle in order to spread the opponent's legs, destabilize their balance, and throw them onto their back. The Kosoto Gake, or small outer hook, consists of driving towards the opponent and placing a foot behind them. Then after hooking the leg, you can either lift and scoop the leg out or trap the leg and lean on them until they fall to the mat. The Kuchiki Taoshi, or one-hand drop, consists of grabbing one of the opponent's legs and then pushing and running them down to the mat. This is often performed by Karo off of caught kicks. And the Kibisu Gaeshi, or heel trip, which consists of grabbing the opponent's heel with one hand and then pushing the opponent over onto their back where they land on the spot. This is in contrast to the Kuchiki Taoshi, where they are pushed and run backwards. And the Morote Gari, or two hands reap, which is performed by grabbing both of the opponent's legs with both of your arms while driving forward and throwing them onto their back. This technique is the judo version of the wrestler's double leg takedown. A Sukui Nage, or scooping throw, is executed when during a Morote Gari, Karo scoops or lifts the opponent fully off the ground and slams them onto the mat. In MMA, this was often performed by him when pressed against the fence. While spending most of his career training at Hayastan Academy with Gokor Chavicyan, he also spent time at Team Punishment, training with Neil Melanson, and at Extreme Couture. And during his time competing in mixed martial arts, Karo became the WEC welterweight champion, the UFC welterweight #1 contender, a Bellator veteran, and winner of the 2006 Fight of the Year against Diego Sanchez. Although judokas were fighting MMA in Japan, at the time when Karo began fighting in the UFC, judo was severely underrepresented and somewhat dismissed by North American fans as a traditional martial art that may not hold any value for the future of freestyle fighting. But when Karo began to literally throw opponents on their heads, he certainly changed that opinion. He paved the way for countless other judokas in the UFC, gaining respect for the art by successfully adapting it and showcasing its effectiveness under the mixed martial arts rule set. And that concludes our look at the use of judo in MMA through the lens of the career and legacy of Karo Parisyan. Please subscribe to the channel and like and comment on the video down below. Please check out my website at sonnybrown.net and follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Peace.